You recording now?
I'm live streaming, but it ends up being a recording on my page, yes.
Okay. One of the things I wanted to do at this meeting is, since we had our meeting, I think it's 4 weeks ago now on the orders, I've seen some communications going back and forth, both on social media and emails that Abby has copied me on. So I'm concerned that we still have some misinformation out there on where responsibilities lie as far as the Board of Health, Mass DEP. So what I wanted to do was run down this list with you guys and see if you're in tune with me and if it's just not me. But this is how I see it as far as a clarification of the Board of Health's role and the PFAS situation. It's important to understand that the Board of Health is preempted by state regulation from addressing the PFAS contamination issue. The sole responsibility for this is Mass DEP per 310 CMR 40, which is also known as the Massachusetts Contingency Plan. The Board of Health itself is responsible for private wells and for the construction, decommissioning of private wells according to our regulations. What happens is when a house is proposed to be built, before a building permit can be issued, the Board of Health needs to sign off on the building permit. And in order for that to happen, the Board of Health has a quantity and quality standard in our regulations that need to be met. And once that's met, we will sign off, issue a certificate of...
For the building permit?
No, yeah, for water. What do they call it?
We issue
Because
completion.
No.
the water supply certificate.
Water supply certificate.
It's a weird,
I'm sorry.
Yes.
And that means it meets all our regulations. From that point, it's the owner of the property that is responsible to maintain that water and their well in compliance with our regulations. The Board of Health continues to advocate for the residents and tries to stay informed by digesting all correspondence and attending all meetings, as well as using grant monies to consult with our own LSP to see how we can help and communicate with those affected residents. 4 weeks ago, we issued 2 orders to Mass Natural, the operator of the composting facility suspected of being the PFAS contamination source, and Otter River Farms, the owner of the property on which Mass Natural Fertilizer operates. Order number 1 involves the status of wells once homes are connected to municipal water, and it involves the decommissioning of these wells once they are connected. Order number 2 addresses the quality of water with the exception of PFAS contamination in these wells after Mass Natural Fertilizer has installed the poet systems. Again, prior to be issuing an occupancy permit, homes in Westminster must meet the quantity and quality standards required by our regulations. There has been evidence that in some homes, not all, that the water quality has degraded after the poet installation. Mass Natural Fertilizer has installed post-poet filtration We commonly refer to it as secondary filtration in some homes to address these issues. In some of the homes, water quality issues seem to still exist. This needs to be tested for and resolved. We look at it, if you broke it, mass natural fertilizer, you need to fix it. It's important that these homes that have water quality issues other than PFAS report it to the Board of Health, or it might go unnoticed or unaddressed. Based on months, if not years of data, it appears that the POET systems are effectively removing the PFAS. We have received communications from residents concerned about PRPs, PFAS, MCP plans, and we have also been copied on questions that have been directed directly to town council about the PRPs. We'd like to clarify that such questions are inappropriate in that the Board of Health in the town have minimal input on such matters. We are preempted from acting in relation to the PFAS. All such questions should be directed to Mass DEP. The Board of Health's authority is the construction, commission, and decommissioning of private wells per our regulations. We have only a supporting role under the MCP, examples of which are permitting the PRPs and the LSP to install, commission, and decommission wells. I think it's also good that everybody should be aware that PRP are the initials for potential responsible parties. An emphasis should be placed on potential. They are suspected to be responsible, but no legal determination has been established. The Board of Health orders are addressed to Mass Natural Fertilizer and Otter River Farms in that they are the property owner and the operator of the facility, and not necessarily because they are listed by Mass DEP as PRPs, because we are preempted by the Massachusetts Contingency Plan. Did you disagree with anything?
No.
I did not. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Well, I thought that was pretty comprehensive.
Abby?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So with that said, hopefully people can see it and they can think a little bit about the meeting coming up in June. And ask what questions they need to ask.
Some questions that we have received lately too, they will be forwarded to Mass DEP and Mass DPH, so anything that we can't answer directly, which is a majority of the questions, those are gonna get sent to the state, so they will get a response from the state, so that is just another thing.
Okay. With that said, there was a meeting, an in-person meeting last Thursday, was it?
Yes.
At SDEP. I thought it was fairly uneventful. They went over what the current status is and what their plans are. There was a question on one or two wells, and I tried to clarify that with DEP on Friday. Abby, what was your take?
I thought you were accurate, and I don't really know why Sarah said. So, yeah, basically, yeah, you were accurate in your understanding of.
There was a question asked at the meeting, what had a Mass MNF responded to the Board of Health's request to identify which of the 15 wells were going to be monitor wells and which ones were going to be decommissioned. And the reply with Abby's agreed that the LSP said they had identified which ones they wanted to use as monitor wells, but they didn't want to decommission the other ones because they may have some use for them in the future.
So they've retain all the private wells at this point.
Right.
Which I think is partly what they indicated in that. So George had sent the emails that I forwarded discussed last time regarding the wells. They sent the notice to the homeowners about not using the well, that they could be used down the road for monitoring purposes. So all the homeowners that have been connected to town water have been notified that they could also potentially down the road be tested, and they would get notice of that if that comes up. And then they provided a list of the addresses in the body of the email listing all 15 homes. So in a roundabout way, they provided us a list that says, but obviously with the product information, but yeah, so their plan is to retain them all at this point. We don't know about future wells, I guess, that they connect.
One of the other things that come up in the meeting, the unilateral order that DE put out dealing with the Woodland group of homes. That said that the Woodland group would encompass South Ashburnham Road up as far as being Porridge Hill Road. But there appeared at the meeting there was a disagreement on that. Mass Natural still insists the Woodland group stands by its own, and it is not going to go up South Ashburnham Road to being Porridge Hill Road. MNF has appealed that unilateral order, and there are legal conversations going on that we weren't privy to at the meeting. And so I don't know what's to come out of that at this point. Perhaps we'll get an update at the June meeting. What else?
I don't think that was it. Josh gave some input about the water line that he hadn't received full plans
that's right.
yet.
Josh Hall from the DPW attended the meeting remotely, but he made it very clear that the town at no point, the town's stance is they want to be as cooperative as possible on the water line extensions, that they plan on proceeding and going through their review process as quickly as possible. But it wasn't going to be a slam dunk. There's a whole bunch of information that is still due to Josh Hall to make the Woodland group loop happen. That
I think that's pretty much, yeah, all the main points.
The Delagano subdivision, I've seen on social media 4 lots for sale in that.
I have seen that.
Seems to think that whoever put it out there seems to think it's a slam dunk. You can move in and utilize these 4 lots and build houses. But DEP has a much different idea. And that's still a work in progress. And we are still not going to issue any well permits until we get the okay from Mass DEP that says you can go ahead and do this. I don't think I have anything else. You guys got any questions?
No,
No?
a lot of stuff there.
What's that?
A lot of stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, this, Abby and I had a conversation, with DEP about concern over whether or not financial, there's going to be financial support to decommission these, by my calculations, in excess of 440 wells already, when this is all over. And DEP said that there are discussions going on in DEP in Boston in regards to financial assurances for putting the water line in. They're trying, the PIP group has expressed concerns on whether or not the finance is going to be there to install the water lines. And DEP said they would add the decommissioning of wells to that conversation.
So you mentioned the decommissioning of the wells and that they do want, the ones that they hooked up houses, they want to keep them open in case they need them, right? Is that what they're trying to say is complying with our order?
We'll have that discussion, I think, at our next meeting. Okay? Because a town council was going to ask Mass Natural when they're going to comply with that order, because they are late. April 1st, they were supposed to give us the list. Now Abby has brought up a legitimate thing, saying that Mass Natural might think that the letters that they sent to everybody is complying with that. So we need to work that out. But we'll be asking that question.
And that hearing is continued till that next meeting.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't believe so.
Norma, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you. So is the M&F hearing still scheduled for May 19th?
Yes.
Okay, and do you know where it will be?
Senior center.
Senior center, okay.
We'll let you know if that changes, but usually the senior center is most available.
Thank you. And so you mentioned, Ed, Mr. Chairman, you mentioned there were inappropriate emails to town council from residents. Do you have an example of those inappropriate emails? Is it residents asking questions to you guys?
I guess what I'm saying is the email was not inappropriate. Town council is town council for the town. And the town is preempted from acting anything in relation to the PFAS. So asking town council about whether or not our orders should be addressed to the PRPs, or whether the PRP should do this, or whether the PRP should do that. Inappropriate may be the wrong word. It's just that the town and town council are preempted from acting in that capacity.
Did anyone answer that resident because this is what I mean. Sometimes residents don't know where to go.
When it comes to PFAS, the one-stop place is Mass DEP.
Right. So did you read the latest letter that Mass DEP issued the PRPs?
Yes.
Okay. So in that letter, they asked the PRPs to include the Board of Health and the town leaders in correspondence with residents. So you can see how that could create some confusion for residents, right? Because they're like, am I not supposed?
that response in that particular, I don't know if you call it an order, is us trying to stay informed and us asking for DEP to make it clear that the Board of Health receives copies of this correspondence so we know what's going on. So when you or another resident calls Abby, Abby can at least know what it is that you're talking about.
Right, but in those emails,
they are required by the MCP to copy both the Board of Health and the Board of Selectmen on all that correspondence. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it don't. So that latest letter or order or whatever it is was DEP's trying to help us tell the PRPs and the LSP that you better be following the MCP and you better be copying it down.
yeah, I guess I just don't see it a big deal if a resident just wants to include everyone, they don't receive responses anyways, right? So how would they even know?
This is
You
not a
can,
direct-
yes,
this is
and
also
what I was trying,
direct emails to our town council, asking questions of town council. So
But they don't ever receive a response, I'm assuming.
No, because they would have to retain counsel for their own like legal questions that they might have. It's just a thing that we've seen a few times where residents are directly asking town council questions and opinions, and that's just not really, town council won't respond, unless directed to. So just as a FYI, we are happy to get the questions and we can forward them on as we do, but, we wouldn't be designating who a PRP is. And our orders are a little different from the state's orders, which is, I think, what I was trying to explain with where we order the property owner and our contacts. I think there was some concern that there was other potentially responsible parties that weren't on that original order, and that's why that email kind of happened in the first place. So just, again, the responsibilities are a little bit different. Typically how the Board of Health works is we order a property owner to come into compliance or to do said thing. In this case, we know they're the ones that are doing the work, they're the ones that are responsive, they're the ones that got the order. So I think that was just a point of clarification.
I guess what I was trying to get apart is you can copy the whole world on everything, but somebody may be wondering why they don't get a response. And I'm just trying to say is you're not going to get a response because they can't. They're preempted.
Right, but I feel like somebody in that email chain should have responded to the resident and be like, hey, what you're telling me right now. Nobody did.
What's that?
Nobody did. Because I've emailed town council myself with no response, but I didn't receive any response from anyone saying like, hey, he's not your attorney, he's ours.
Well, and that's not, and what I'm trying to say is, again, we're not gonna, communication is great, okay? You can send me, you can send Abby, you can send us all anything that you want. But if you're sending us something and asking and expecting to get a response, for instance, on the PFAS issue, it probably isn't going to happen because we're preempted from doing that by the regulation.
I think
I'm not telling you not to send something. I'm saying if you're expecting a response back, in all likelihood, you're not going to get it.
See, I disagree with that. I think residents should get a response back. I've emailed Abby and she's sent me to MNF council, and I appreciate that.
Sure.
Every resident, because I feel like this is why this is why we are where we are, because residents are not getting responses. It's actually in that Mass DEP letter, right? Days go by, residents don't get a response, then they start making their own assumptions. And so now you're telling me communication is great, but we don't have to.
I'm saying that we are preempted by state law we're probably deeper into this than what we should be. okay? And we're deep into it because of our concern. We're deep into it because we want to know what's going on. We go to these meetings because every so often we can say, stick our hand up and say, but didn't you say this or didn't you say that? When we go to these meetings, we act as an advocate for you, the resident. But we're handicapped. We don't have the authority. We have the authority, for instance, we're trying to advocate on behalf of the residents to make sure that when you get connected to municipal water, you don't have to shut down your well and spend thousands of dollars getting it capped. Because the authority that the Board of Health has, the only authority we have, is to order you to do it. Well, that's unfair. That's grossly unfair. Those are the type of things that we do have a responsibility for, and we're trying to make happen.
And I agree with that. I just, to go back to my point, I really think every resident deserves a response, even if it means, hey, I'm sending you to this person. This is Mass DEP. You've done it before with me, Abby. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
As much as,
Yeah.
yeah, we.
And
Every time.
I have forwarded emails to DEP. But I don't expect that town council is going to be doing it.
Right, but nobody let us know. I'm learning that right now.
What's that?
I'm learning that right now, today.
Yeah. So, and as long as we all know what to expect, we can operate however we need to operate.
Yes.
This whole PFAS situation, I wouldn't wish it on anybody, and believe me, I feel, but I don't know what to do. You mentioned PFAS and they said, not your job.
Well, I think issuing the orders, right? I feel like residents feel like you have our back. Whether they appeal it or not, that's not on you. And you're right, the PFAS situation, we agree that it's not you, but I appreciate that you guys are welcoming residents' concerns. You're addressing the water quality issue, and I think that's what residents expect out of you, really. No one is expecting you, to my knowledge, that you handle the PFAS. I think it's common knowledge that that's Mass DEP. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I mean, when you think we can do something for you, if it's within our means, we're gonna do it.
Right. And that's all we ask for, really. Yeah. Thank you.
Anything else, Norm?
I wanted to ask, the yellow cards that are sent when there is like voting or elections, how come we're not sending those yellow cards to residents about the June 1st meeting, since it's like open to the town?
Yeah, we posted it on our thing and sent it out to the.
It's like some neon cards.
We just, I don't know,
I don't know, I didn't have a yellow
Do they
card.
send out to remind people of the date for the election?
Oh, like for
Mhm.
elections and stuff,
Mhm.
yeah. And maybe because it's not an election, we weren't
Yeah, I just
privy
we
to
don't
it.
do it.
We've never sent
We
it.
didn't think of it, honestly.
Honestly.
Can we think of it?
I mean, we can send it out the comment period, unfortunately, we closed
It's
that,
alright.
but then people are welcome to attend and ask questions in person, so we can definitely send out a card.
Yeah, I think that would be so helpful. Yeah. Okay. So you will be sending out that neon card?
I don't know if it'll be neon or what color.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
we'll send out-
Make it
send
blue for
something
water.
out.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll send something out to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask downstairs.
How to do it.
Like a townwide.
No, right, that's what I
I was
mean.
never involved when they sent out the postcards, prior to me starting, so.
We'll find out.
Request if they
We'll
do
find
it.
out and get them sent.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all for me.
No problem.
Thank you.
No, but this is your Ross, correct? Ross?
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
Not on the agenda.
Is no, not on the agenda, but it is PFAS related, so we can go ahead and. I'm guessing that's why you're here, correct?
Well, that's just.
Or were you just here to listen? Okay.
My name is Ross Tyler, I signed in with my real name. You're not here to pick on your GDF thing or anything. One of my jobs is, I'm the town representative to Monty Tech. So I represent the town's interests in that district, and another side job is I'm Public Works Commissioner, which is kind of an interesting conversation here. But I do know that we recently voted at Monty Tech, March 4th, we voted to move forward with an artificial turf field.